Hello and welcome. So now we are going to develop the augmented reality world map sphere app, where you can see the world map, where you can move around it in every direction, that is in the x direction, y direction, z direction, which simply means upward, downward, left side, right side, and you will see the whole world map, okay, as you can see on your screen. So we will develop this using the augmented reality Flutter plugin. So now let's just start the augmented reality earth map app. So open up your Android Studio and then click on new Flutter project. Make sure that Flutter is selected from here and then click next. And here we need to give name to this project. So this is our AR earth underscore map underscore app. Remember, the name of the project must be in small English alphabets, and please avoid any extra space. Instead of space you can use this underscore, then after it com dot, instead of example you can write your name, com dot, and here is my name. So let's say if your name is John, it will be com dot John. In my case it is com dot Muhammad Ali. And then, as you know that ARCore supports, if you want you can add description as well, as I told you guys, that is Flutter ARCore Pluggin. Earth map app. Okay, so as you know that ARCore plugin supports the Flutter Android only, so that's why we will uncheck the Windows, Web, Mac OS, Linux and iOS. We will only check Android. Okay, make sure to check this only, and then click on create. And as I told you earlier, if you want to create augmented reality applications for the iOS, for the iPhones, then please join our ARKit course. Okay, Flutter ARKit course. As you know that ARKit is from Apple, which means that you can develop applications using ARKit for the iPhones. However, this ARCore plugin is from Google, which simply means that using ARCore you can develop applications for the Android. So let's just create this project. So it has been created successfully. Make sure that from here you select project. Okay, this is our AR earth map app. So first thing first, as you know that on the main.dot we have some default code which you do not need, for example the my home page and my home page state. So we just remove that. Then the next thing that we will do is we will simply give it name as Flutter AR earth map app. Then we will right click on lib new dot file and we will say AR underscore earth underscore map earth map screen. Let's create a stateful widget. We will give it name as AR earth map screen, and then let's quickly add an app bar, a scaffold widget, and in here we have to add app bar, and in the app bar we can just display a title. And the title will be AR earth map sphere, you can say. Okay, and make sure to add const modifier with it, and we want this title to be at the center of the app bar, so we can say center title true. Then we can come back to the main.dot, and here we want to start our app from the AR map screen. Now the next thing, you already know that we have to add the augmented reality plugin in our this Flutter project. So for that purpose, go to your browser and go to the pub.dev site. Okay, go to the pub.dev site, and here you can simply search for ARCore Flutter plugin, which is this one, ARCore_Flutter_plugin. Then click on installing, and then from here you can simply copy this dependency, come back to your project, go to pubspec.yml, and then if you scroll here below the Cupertino icons, you can paste that dependency just like this. Then click on pubget in order to install the augmented reality Flutter plugin in our project. So it has been installed successfully. Now the next thing is to add the dependencies for the Sceneform and ARCore in our Android module. So for that, we will go back to our browser, and inside the documentation, okay, just click on readme. This is the documentation for this ARCore Flutter plugin. If you scroll here a little, you will see here this import Sceneform plugin into your project. Right click on it, open up in a new tab, or you can simply click on it and it will open up this screen. Here you will see that Android Studio plugin. Just click on it. If you scroll here, then you will see here these dependencies which we have to add. So these three dependencies we have to copy from here, come back to the project, and inside the project go to Android app build.gradle, and then scroll to the bottom. Here you will see these dependencies. In here we have to add it here just like this, and as you see this, it is showing us the suggestions, or you can say these warnings. As you know that this ARCore dependency has a latest new version available. How I know? If you hover your mouse above it, okay, you will see this a new version of this dependency is available, which is 1.37.0. So we can say 1.37.0. You see that gray background disappear, which means that this one is the latest dependency. Similarly, if I hover my mouse here on this Sceneform UX, then here you will also see the latest version available, which is 1.17.1. so we can just say 1.17.1. so you see the gray background disappear. If you hover your mouse on this, then you will see the new version for Sceneform core is 1.17.1. so we can say 1.17.1. so yeah, this is it. And then the last thing we need to do is we have to set the minimum SDK version. So in order to use the ARCore Flutter plugin, the minimum SDK version will be 24 or greater than 24. Okay, when we set 24, it simply means that minimum SDK will be equals to 24 or greater than 24. So this is all about the setup of Sceneform and ARCore Flutter plugin in our Flutter project. Next thing is we have to come back here to our AR Earth map screen, and here we have to start implementing the Earth map object, so then we can display it in the real world, that is in our real environment, using the ARCore plugin, that is using the AR view, which is also called the augmented reality scene or augmented reality view, with the help of your phone camera. So let's create the AR view that is in the body of our this screen. We can say AR core view, and in this view you can say on AR core view created, so we can simply say augmented reality view created. So when the augmented reality view is created, what we will do, then we will implement a sphere on which we will display our Earth map, and this will receive one thing as a parameter, which is ARCore controller. Let's give it name as core controller. We need to create an instance here of the ARCore controller. Let's call it ARCore controller, which simply means augmented reality core controller. We will give it this name. So whenever the ARCore view is created, this method will be called, and we will assign the core controller to it, to our augmented reality core controller. And then we will start displaying our earth map sphere. So I can simply say display earth map sphere. Just like in the previous app where we display geometric shapes, similarly we can display a sphere. Sphere is also geometric shape, but the important new information which you will learn in this course, I mean in this video, in this specific app, is that how you can create a geometric sphere shape and then apply the earth map on it, so that it will look like a round earth map, which you see already in the start of this video, at the start of this app videos. So then let me just complete it, okay? Then I will explain it step by step. Okay, so let's just implement this method quickly. You know that to display earth map sphere we will pass the augmented reality core controller, which we will receive here inside the core controller. Okay, so this thing we are receiving here. Make sure to add a null check with it. Now this method will be asynchronous. The reason for this is we have to basically apply the earth material, that is the earth map, on our sphere, so it looks like a earth map. Okay, now I will provide this image file, which is by the name earth_map. Please download this file, then copy it, and then right click on your project AR earth map, new, and let's create a new folder by the name images. Press enter. So the images folder has been created. As you can see, right click on images and then click paste and then click OK. So inside the images we have our earthmap.jpg, this image file, which we will apply on the sphere. Now as we have added this images folder, so we have to include that in our pubspec.yml file as well. So what we can do here, we can say assets. Remember, this A must be below this hash sign, or you can say this A must be below this uses material design U. As you can see that no space forward or no space backward. Okay, otherwise you will get error. You have to follow the proper indentation, as you can see. Okay, and then after it, this dash sign must be below the second S of this assets. And yeah, let's include our images folder. So what it means, it simply means that we have asset which is by the name images folder. So whatever is inside that images folder, okay, images folder, whatever is inside that images folder, that is now the part of our this Flutter project. The slash sign simply means that inside the images folder. Let's just click on pubget in order to see if we have added it successfully. So yeah, it is added successfully. Now let's just come back here. If you see this as suggestion, click on get dependencies. Okay, that's it. Now we can simply access our that earth image, because we have to apply that on a geometric shape, which is the sphere shape, so it will look like earth map. Let me just complete it and you will see it. So we can say load. So the reference to it is inside the images folder. We have the file by the name earth_map.jpg. So inside the images folder we have a file by the name earth_map.jpg. Okay, so this is our image. Let's assign this to a variable of type byte data. So as I told you, we will apply this as a texture on our sphere. So we can give it name as texture bytes. And the rest, you know that first we have to initialize, or you can say define the material for our sphere shape. So we can say final materials equals to ARCore material. First the color for the sphere, so the color for that will be colors dot any color you want. Let's go with blue. And then the texture bytes, so which is texture bytes, which is basically our this, that is that map. We define the color, okay, for the material blue, but this is just you can say this is just a formality. The reason for this is because we want to display that earth map, that is this thing on our sphere, so that it looks like earth map, okay, which you will see. So we will now say that texture byte will be our this texture byte, or you can say this is basically earth texture byte, okay, this is more appropriate name. So we can say earth texture bytes dot buffer dot as uint at list. So the material for our sphere which we are creating is basically this, that is we will apply this texture, which is basically this texture, okay, on our sphere. We will apply this, so it will look the earth map. So how we can apply it on a sphere? First we have to define sphere, that is final sphere. You can say sphere, earth sphere, or let's just give it name as only sphere. So ARCore sphere, and then materials. So the materials you already know, inside the brackets we have our this materials, you can see that. So we apply that material on our this sphere. Now as you know that we have our sphere, next thing is to define the position, that is in the real environment, in the real world where we want to display it with the help of your phone camera. It must have some initial position, so that we can do with the help of node, which is basically ARCore node. And you know that with the help of vector64 we basically do these things. So the shape, you already know the shape is the sphere shape, and the position is, we have to import the vector64 mat dot dot as vector64. So we can just say vector64 dot vector3, and the position for this will be 0, 0, that is xy, and the z-axis it will be minus 1.5, just like this. So now as we have defined all the required parameters, then we can simply display the earth map, which is our earth map sphere. So we can simply say augmented reality core controller dot add ARCore node, and the node is our this node, which is basically this sphere. We want to display the sphere shape at this location, and you know that this sphere is basically on it we have applied some material, and that material is basically this earth texture bytes, that is it will look like, that is this texture we apply on our this sphere, so it will look like the earth map when we will test the app. Okay, so make sure to add semicolon and make sure add a null check here. So let me explain again. Okay, whenever the ARCore view is created, that is whenever the app start running, it will be the AR view scene. So whenever it is created, what we do, we just display the earth map sphere with the help of augmented reality core controller. So first of all, as you know that this time we want to display some texture. This time we want to display some texture on our geometric shape sphere. And in this, from this app videos, you also learn that how you can apply your own texture on geometric shapes. Okay, so for example, according to the current app, we apply this texture, which is this texture. Okay, we apply this texture on our sphere. So just like we did in the previous first app, we first create some material, that is, we define some materials, that is the texture byte especially, that is we want to apply this texture on our shape, which is the sphere, which we define here. Okay, so we define sphere and we apply the materials on it. We have the sphere shape, as you can see, ARCore sphere, and we apply this material, that is this texture on it, which is this texture. Okay, and as we have this sphere now, so we want to display it. So this sphere must have some position, which we define with the help of vector 64. So this sphere shape will be at this position in the real environment, or you can say in the real world when you test the app. Okay, so now let's just test the application and you will see it. So now let's just install the app on our phone. App is running now. So now you can click while using the app. It asks for using the phone camera permission. Okay, so you have to allow it while using the app. So here we go. Here you can see when the plan is deducted, you can see the sphere on my desk where I am working. Okay, so in the real environment, that is in the real world, or you can say in my real environment, I can see this sphere shape. So that is so cool and so nice. You can even move around it if you want to check the whole world map. As you can see, I am moving downward, and now let's go upward. What we have here above this sphere, that is above this world map. So that is so cool. I mean, you can see that we can even move around it in every direction, in the X, Y, Z axis direction. So that is really nice and really incredible. You can see that on my desk, whenever the plan is deducted, you can see this dotted form. These are basically the plan deducted, and it will start displaying the sphere, that is the earth map sphere. That is the earth map. So you can move and you can check it from any direction you want.